We've featured this F6 Typhoon a few times on Full Boost in smaller videos, but I thought we'd take an opportunity, have a bit of a deep dive and take a closer look in what makes these platforms so great. They have so much potential. This is a great example of keeping a car fairly OE in terms of how it drives, but it's mega fast. This has just returned back from Drag Challenge. It ran a PB of 9.1 seconds, 150 odd mile an hour. It obviously has the Barra engine in it. Still has a 6-speed ZF transmission in it, a factory rear end, albeit upgraded shafts. It drives mint. Still has a stock computer, full exhaust, but the most important part, it doesn't have one of those god-awful screamer pipes. Not only has Tony just dug out a fresh Michael J's hoodie,
we have to mention
but
that.
even I've got a fresh 25 years of Full Boost here. Now you can grab these merch, any of this merch at shop.fullboost.com.au. And if you want some Michael J's merch, where do you get that, mate?
Just come in. We've actually got some new merch.
New merch coming.
New merch coming, so it'll be fresh.
Apparently I'm getting one. You've just got back from Drag Challenge, Tony, in Doug's F6. It's quickly turning into a bit of a Full Boost favourite, isn't it?
Drag Challenge was really good. It was really tiring, but to anyone out there that is thinking of doing it, do it, because it's an experience and a half.
It is. It's one of the best events in Australia. It's essentially an Aussie version of the US.
Yeah, pretty much. And like all the driving, the memories you make along the way. It's not just about the racing.
Yeah.
You know, talking to other people. Like it's like you've been best mates for ages because you spend 5-6 days together every day. And yeah, it's great. It's good fun. Like I'd highly recommend for anyone to do it.
Now you guys did a bit of prep before the event, didn't you? Obviously, you were taking the car to Heathcote quite a few times, got it dialed in. It was running pretty consistent, sort of 930.
The week before Drag Challenge, we went out and PB'd at Heathcote. So we ran a 928, which was good.
And obviously Drag Challenge, especially at the start of the week, there's a lot of cars, so you probably know you're not going to get 10 runs.
I must admit, Doug's been driving really good and consistent. He knows the car pretty well, and like he just jumps in it now, and yeah, he's able to just do a pass. And
yeah, the last 6 months, this car would have done at least 50 passes, wouldn't it?
Including Drag Challenge, I think since we've built this motor and set up the car the way it is, I think we've done a total of about 100 passes.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, it's done about just under 15,000 Ks. And around 100 passes.
The best part about this car is it's obviously to make it fast, but at day-to-day activities, it drives perfect.
Oh, look, it's been good. Like the week before Drag Challenge, I actually had it for a week, and I put 2 baby seats in it, and there's no word of a lie. 2 baby seats, had my wife in it, drove over the weekend, just making little adjustments just on cruise to get it as economical as possible. Just drives like a normal Falcon. Like you wouldn't even think it is what it is or it runs what it runs. Like just seeing it on cruise, it's not loud.
Like we see a lot of modified late model Ford platforms, a lot more modified than this, and they're not putting down the times this is. And this is super consistent. A lot of people, the first thing they do is rip the 6-speed out. And I kind of get it. It's not a cheap thing to build properly, but at the same time, either is putting in a high-end 3-speed. Yeah. And most of the time you're driving these cars, it is a street car, is not on power.
Oh, that's right. And like I said, this gets driven heaps on the street. Like Doug takes it to car shows, drives to work on a nice day, and that's not a lie, like that's a true fact.
A lot of people say they have a street car, but they really don't use it as a street car, do they, Tony?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, this street car was doing race car things, so it's good to have it back on the street. And let's go do some street car things tonight, I reckon.
What are we going to do tonight? Let's grab a pizza.
Well, I'm pretty hungry, so that sounds good to me.
This car is out every weekend. There's a few things I think that make it impressive. Still has the ZF 6-speed, still got stock cams, still have a Ford ECU in it. I go in a lot of Barras. This one is by far one of the better ones I've been in. It's fairly quiet, realistically for what it is. This car just ran 9.2 at 150.
Yeah, it did, a couple of weeks ago.
If someone jumped in the car now, you would never ever think that.
No, it just drives like a normal car. Like a couple of weeks ago, we went 9.2 like you said. And yeah, we're just cruising through Williamstown. We went and grabbed the pizza. You know, we've put a lot of time and effort into getting it to where it is now. It's good that we've still retained the factory camshafts like we said.
Yeah.
Which makes it like really nice to drive, especially like in, you know, 40k zones like this through Williamstown.
people love the sound, but like now, look how smooth the thing is.
Oh, look, don't get me wrong, you do get a nice note out of it, but I think, you know, there's a balance between drivability and like this is just, yeah, smooth. Go through a boost bus, you don't really get looked at too much because it's not overly loud.
No, it's not.
As they say, I personally think it's a wolf in sheep's skin, you know what I mean? You could put the stock wheels on this, park it on the side of the road, and like there's nothing really fancy about it. Bolt a set of radials on the back and bang, 9.2 or 150, see you later.
You know, if you've got a later model car and you're putting like an older style transmission in it, yeah, I understand guys who want to go fast, but this car here, it doesn't clunk into gear and whine and, you know, do all these things that...
No, it just shifts gears nicely. It pretty much does what a stock XR6 turbo does, just with 100 times more power, you know what I mean?
So getting back to drag challenge, I think day one, the bend, you ran a 9.
Day one was pretty hot when we had our run. First pass was a 9.3. Yeah, we just headed for Mildura.
Yeah, and that's an 8th mile track for those who don't know.
Yeah, so Mildura was 8th mile. Our PB to the 8th mile was 6,000.
And you'd run it twice in a row.
3 times. We've run it twice in a row, but we've ran 6,000 3 times in total.
Yeah.
We rocked up to Mildura, first pass was 6,041. So again, we're just like, all right, that's good enough because it was pretty hot. No clouds in the sky, just sun and like...
What, day 3 you went to Heathcote?
Yeah, day 3 we went to Heathcote. We ran, first pass was 9.3 again. That was early in the morning. And I sort of said to Doug, we made a decision, let's hang around for a second pass because it's home soil. So Doug went back out and yeah, PB 926 I think it was, at 151 mile an hour.
Just as quick as the other one. Hey, 9.2, good boy.
You having a good day today?
We're having a good day.
We're having a good day? It's not a bad day today, being a drag challenge?
We're both having a good day.
We're all having a good day. We packed up and headed for Portland.
That's a fair drive from Heathcote to Portland.
Yeah, it was 500 Ks.
Yeah, and then obviously that was a rain out, which is unfortunately it happens a lot at Portland.
Yeah, we had to hang around because obviously you don't want to get the 20-second time added to your slip. So just like everyone else, we hung around.
And you drove back to Tailem,
yeah,
and you had great weather.
Well, it's funny you say that because when we were in Mildura, I'll just go back a bit. We left Mildura, it was stinking hot.
Yeah.
We were in shorts, singlet, and the temperature on Doug's dash was 32 degrees.
Yeah, wow.
When we left Mildura. As we headed into near Heathcote, it was, I seen it drop to 9. So we went from 32 to 9. We got out, unpacked our luggage, put jumpers on, trackies or jeans on, and
Just sums up Victoria.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, going back to that, we left Portland, went to the bend again, which was another 500 Ks. We did it with ease, just 110.
This is a perfect car for drag challenge. It doesn't scream on the highway. I saw a picture of some guy driving, I don't know what it was, a V8 of some sort, old school car, and it was doing about 100 clicks, which most guys don't do.
Yeah.
And a tacho was like well north of 4,500, like 4,700.
I've seen that too on social media.
And you said you saw people driving with earmuffs.
Yeah, I've seen a few people driving with earmuffs.
And you did this whole trip on ethanol, yeah?
Yeah, we did it on E85, yeah.
So getting back to the event, what happened day 5, last day? Everyone wants to send it, don't they, if they're still around?
Well, yeah, that was the plan, and I said to Doug, look, let's just get a pass in. And yeah, first pass was a 918
Yeah, wow.
PB.
The deep end, 11, 10 at 223 and 918. Oh, haven't we got some quick Falcons there? Happy 918, 242, doing a dance. The boys are happy.
Happy days.
Yeah, it was great. Like I said, Doug's been driving really consistent. The car's been consistent. Obviously, we've got the setup for it pretty down pat.
And over the week, did you have any headaches? I mean, it doesn't. Usually most people have a few gremlins, but you obviously had a pretty good week from that.
Nah, it was good. We just changed plugs.
Yeah.
Like I'd put a new set of plugs in it when we went racing, bolt the radials on, and that was pretty much it. It was more trouble unloading the trailer than what it was to actually work on the car.
So tell us a bit about the progression on the car. Like, how did it all start?
I met Doug on the side of the road. We're on a car cruise, and I asked him for a screwdriver. And then a couple of weeks later, we had a photo shoot at our shop, organised with a couple car clubs, and Doug came along, and as he pulled up to the front of the shop, the turbo blew up. Just like one of those Formula One smoke screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, full on. So he just said, hey, can I leave the car here? Can you fix the turbo and just, retune it? Yeah, no worries. Retuned it, made 380 kilowatts. Did a bit of racing in it. I think he ran a couple high 11s. Then he ended up buying a BA XR6 turbo that was pretty heavily modified. He swapped all the running gear from the car that he bought into this. Now we tuned it, we ran 10.0 multiple times. So it had a set of rods in it, oil pump gears, valve springs, head studs. There was no machine work done or anything like that. But the person that he bought the car off, which was in Queensland, had done that work. So at that time we just tuned it. Had it for about 2.5 years. The motor always had a noise on cold startup, but Doug being Doug, oh well, when it breaks, we'll work it out. 2.5 years later, broke a crank. So then that's when we built this motor that's in it.
Tony, is this another boost bus up here?
This is the second boost bus for the night, Luke.
I think this is the fourth one I've seen tonight. Oh, you ran 10. Oh, you broke the crank.
Yeah, so the crank broke, and then that's where we pulled the motor out and we built a motor, which is the motor that's in it now. And then we sort of like did a fair few mods to the car. We had already put a tail shaft in it, but then we pulled the rear cradle out, did all the bushes, twin bush hat, drive shaft shop axles, and yeah, and then since then, all we've done is just done a converter swap.
A lot of people joke about Barras, blah, 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 but look, they are getting older, and realistically now, things can and do go wrong in any car.
Oh, of course, no doubt.
In terms of trying to future-proof the car and trying and make it reliable, look, it isn't cheap.
No, it's not, and you sort of learn that as you go, and as you can see tonight, like, it's got no issues at all.
Yeah, he drives it to the track.
Yeah, he does. He drives it to the track and back.
To go to the next level, you got to change a lot of stuff, don't you? Like, is it really worth it?
We're probably going to leave it the way it is. Obviously, we've got a bit more to play with tune-wise.
You're going to run a 9.1. Most people would be like, oh, I'd really love an 8.99. Even though it is close, but it's a long way. Like, in reality...
It's not far. Sorry, it's not close, like you said. It's actually quite far.
So we touched on earlier, the car's done about 100 passes. Michael J's obviously, you take care of the car, but you've built a lot of it. You've done most of the work on this, haven't you?
Well, pretty much, yeah. So we built the motor, tuned the car, set up the car suspension-wise, and all the sort of bolt-on stuff and how we've set up the car. That's done here. Robert Monster Talk built the transmission. He also supplied us with a converter for it. So yeah, he's done a banger job. It's been good, survived all the drag challenge, and yeah, it was faultless.
Yeah, well, a lot of people obviously say that the 6-speed can be a bit of a thorn in the side of these cars when you really push them, but this car's been pretty good, hasn't it?
Yeah, we haven't had any dramas with it, so it just made the whole of drag challenge just run smoothly, you know?
Awesome. I think next year, Doug's keen to do this again, isn't he?
Yeah.
But next year, you're going to have to bring the territory.
Yeah, I'm going to bring the territory. That's going to be back in the works, so...
We should have a few episodes coming up on that car in the next however many months, I don't know.
There's not much left to go on it, so to all those that have been asking and watching, thank you for watching and supporting it. There is more coming, because I've been asked quite a bit about it. Oh, it's finished, and no, it's not. There's more, so we'll touch back on that soon. We just got the car back at the shop because just put it up on the hoist, go over it, change some of the fluids, and head to the Ford Holden Nationals.
It's not just a straight line. Like, this has got some nice gear in it. Like, it's got shockwork suspension. Obviously it's got the Brembo brakes. It's a nice all-round car.
Yeah. So it's got the 6-pot front Brembo brakes. Chris at Shockworks built us obviously all the suspension that's in it in terms of shocks and springs. And yeah, they've worked quite well. We've played with it a little bit at the track, and every time we've touched the shocks, like, we've just gotten better and better. You know, and I'm happy with what's in it. At the moment on the street, it drives really nice.
Doesn't matter where you go, Tony, tonight. It's either booze buses, accidents, detours.
We're having quite a decent run here tonight, Luke.
Melbourne, the most livable city. So obviously you guys done a lot of prep work on the car, but there's always people who help you out and go above and beyond, isn't there?
Yeah, look, I just want to say a big thanks to Dave from Burson's Ravenhall. We've known him for quite some time.
Yeah.
Been friends out of work. He literally said, give me a list of what you need. We had a massive box with all the spares that I thought we could do on the side of the road or at the racetrack, because if it was going to be something terminal, well, you know, like there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
So we had things like ball joints, wheel bearings.
Hey, it's something like small like that you don't think about, and that's your whole event's ruined, and it's only usually a small part.
That's exactly right.
Tony, I've never seen the F6 looking so clean, mate.
Yes.
Sparkling.
It's clean, it's got no rubber on the back bar.
It looks wet.
That's what I was going to say, it looks very wet and it feels very smooth, like a baby's bottom, as they say.
And this has just been detailed by your good friend Kevin.
Yeah, so Kevin from Northside Window Tinting also does detailing.
Done underneath. He's on the whole car.
Yeah, so he's done under the bonnet, in the boot, in the interior.
He's cleaned the glove box or here.
Yeah, he cleaned the glove box out and all Doug's.
He cleaned all of Doug's time slips out. Apparently,
it
was just overflowing with 9-second time slips.
Apparently, they were everywhere. So, but yeah, and Kevin's come along tonight.
Kevin has come along tonight in his very nice Mustang, but he's going to be our camera car tonight, so we can get a few.
Get some rolling shots.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about this car. You guys.
Yeah, so we built this about 4 years ago now.
Yep.
It's a 64.5 Mustang. It's got a 347 stroker in it. Did a lot of work in the undercarriage, a lot of work in the engine bay. It's actually got the original interior in it still. So this is the original colour, but it's been resprayed.
All right.
Yeah, and that's it. We've got these wheels made up for him. This is the look he wanted back then.
Yep.
But now we're getting some welds done for it.
Okay.
With some bead locks on the rear. I think he wants to go have a bit of fun at the track. This one here made 310 kilowatts at the rears.
Spicy.
Huh?
I said it sounds spicy.
It does. Very crisp. You say what you just said, and then I'll say, well, last week we were doing race car things in a street car. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
All right.
Like, this is a car you could put your wife and kids in and just go for a Sunday drive.
I don't know, I was supposed to say something, then I forgot. So after all the roadworks and crashes and boost buses, we took a wrong turn.
That's all right, the GPS is redirected, yeah, we're all good.
I would have said if you run anything like 950, take it and leave. I was just going to say, a few people have been asking me what's going on with the family bus. We will have some more episodes out
oh yeah, definitely.
Later this year. A lot of people say they have street cars and they don't drive them on the street. This is a genuine street car, isn't it, Tony?
Well, it is, and last week it was doing race car things in a street car, so... Like, after we PB'd 9.2, he drove it home from King of the Street. We stopped at Macca's on the way back. Like, it's just, yeah, I think it's a well-built street car for what it is, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. What am I saying?
I can't with this dickhead.